Where's the crash site now?
Over there. We're getting closer.
Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again, bringing you Chapter 7 in my Enslaved hard difficulty video walkthrough. And this is the level entitled Tripp. And as you can see, you start off as Monkey once again, and this time Tripp is nowhere to be found because she's a little bit emotional that we've come back to her village, and it turns out it's been plundered and pillaged by robots. So yeah, not the best time in an emotional sense for that one, but we are here, we are where we were setting off to be, and I am back from my holiday, so wahey! And what better way to start the day than with a nice commentary. So, this level is quite interesting. When I first got here on my initial playthrough, I had a bit of difficulty because there's a handful of situations where you're going to come up against the turret guys, and there's going to be a lot of other robots with them, and you're in an awkward area and you don't quite have the ammo or the experience to really know exactly what you're doing. But luckily enough, after I went through a little bit of a hellish time, you know, figuring it out my first time, I've got a pretty decent way of doing it. And this guy here who's shooting at me from across the courtyard, he's very simple. You don't have to mess about with him. You can just completely go balls to the wall and run all the way across to him. As you'll notice, I do pop up, I do hit him with my electricity to stun him, I do wait for my shield to recharge, but the main reason I'm doing that is purely because I wanted it to be a clean run, and when you get reckless, especially when you're recording something, you tend to get screwed over. Because one thing I've noticed in my short YouTube career when it comes to making these videos, and guides in general, when you're playing something for fun, or you're playing something just for the sake of playing it, you will seem to get off with many things. It's a case of you never get all that unlucky, you never get screwed over, the games hardly ever crash, you ever get, you know, that moment of sheer bullshit when it's like, why did this happen now and it never happened before? But as soon as you press record on your HD PVR, just bastards come out of the woodwork. It's like fucking, it's like Fluent Lies, it truly is. You'll get into encounters where stuff just doesn't go your way, you just have the worst time possible and get so unlucky on every imaginable turn, and it makes it all the better because you're recording this and other people are going to see it, so instead of having the lovely sexy smooth, you know, electric sex of a smooth run, you end up getting this ballsy, bullshitty, sloppy looking like gauntlet of mistakes. But it does keep it interesting, so it is quite funny, and there is a subtle irony to it. It's not quite the same irony of going to France for a holiday and asking a French person for a French fancy for them to only to say, "We do not have a French fancy," or something along those lines. He actually spoke in French and my girlfriend translated, but how fucking crazy is that? In France there are no French fancies. And I love French fancies, and for anybody that doesn't know what one is, or it might have a different terminology in your neck of the woods, a French fancy over here is basically a cake. It's basically a lovely sugary thing, and it's very small. It's a little cube, about the size, you know, it fits in the palm of your hand, and they come in a box of like 6, and there's the yellow, the lemony ones, there's the pink ones, and I think there's the chocolate ones. And all it is a fondant cake, covered in icing, and with some really soft sponge, and it's really nice, and I fucking love them. I'm a fiend for anything like that. I'm the type of person that, you know, when I get hungry and I want to eat something, I'm like a shovel just removing rubbish. I can just go through anything, and luckily enough I have a metabolism that will support my hunger and my necessity to eat shit, basically. And they didn't have them, and I thought it was hilarious because I was kind of looking into all these different things, because as most of you will know if you've, you know, researched anything when it comes to different countries, every country has certain things that they're known for, certain things that you go expecting to see. And a lot of it is, you know, general stereotypes, you know, mild racism and a slight dash of xenophobia, but for the most of it, it's positive and it's quite fun. But they didn't have French fancies. It pissed me off. But this is quite a challenging room, this, and I'm a little bit conflicted right now because I want to talk about my holiday, but this is a guide, and there's going to be people coming to this to see and get help, and I don't want to talk through it about my life because there might be people that aren't invested whatsoever in my channel that come on and they're like, what's this silly soppy bastard on about telling me what he did for 3 weeks in a foreign country? And yeah, there's nothing worse than that. But right now is the reason I've told you guys to upgrade your gun, or the staff, whatever it's called. I can't remember its name, I do apologise. Because this section right now, if you have a lot of ammo for it and you've upgraded the damage like I have, you will absolutely shitstomp every single one of these enemies. And when I first got here, I'd not upgraded my staff at all, and this was probably the most challenging area of the game for me, because without the staff, you have to fight them. They all have an advantage on you. They're all up on roofs. They're all shooting you. They're all ridiculously accurate. And you're just going to get shit stomped before you know where you stand. And as you've just seen, I did that in the space of maybe a minute. It was very simple. I risked no injury whatsoever because the staff was so damn powerful. It's just a case of being able to aim. And that's no skill really, because you can take your time. It's not like you're on a strict margin of error or anything. But I got back yesterday, and I was pretty tired, but you just kind of power through. And there's so many things that I wanted to do, because 3 weeks without an Xbox is probably the hardest thing I've ever done. I did it very well, and I did it very gracefully, because there was a lot of distractions in the part of France that we went to, and I had a really good time, because it was totally worth doing. But I did miss this. I did miss commentating. I did miss YouTube. I did miss my Xbox. I missed the UFC. I missed, downloading movies. I missed new CDs coming out. I missed everything that I hold as culturally significant in my life, and it's crazy because I wasn't too bothered about going away, and I don't mean that in an evil sense or anything. It's just a case of I actually enjoy everything I do pretty much every single day. I'm not that person that complains, about fucking hating their life, hating the job, hating, various facets of things they don't control, or they wish that they had more control than they actually do. I'm the guy that just gets on with it and enjoys every minute of what I can. So for me, going on holiday is lesser to what I'm already doing. So I wasn't too excited, truth be told. I actually got really excited coming back, which sounds fucking awful, but I had a fantastic time, and that's probably as much as I'm going to talk, aside from little anecdotes throughout these videos. Expect the full stories on maybe a commentary or on a different video. Or if anybody drops a load of comments like, "We want to hear about your holiday, you fucking asshole! You've been away for 3 weeks, goddammit, tell us!" Then I'll be like, well, whoa, stop swearing, don't need none of that, stop shouting, people are in bed, and I'll explain quietly. But that fight right there is not too challenging as long as you know how to take on those kind of scenarios. Now that you have your staff, and if you've upgraded it, you should be able to fire the stun electricity into a crowd, stun them all, drop the shields, go in, start cleaning them up, using your special move that you've bought if you've followed my advice, and the fighting should now be secondary to everything else, because you've got to a comfortable point in the game where you're good at it, or you know how to exploit it. Because I do believe in a lot of games there is a difference between actually being good and knowing how to beat them. But this is an interesting section right now, because when you drop down into this little courtyard, and as you can see, it's a lovely quaint looking village full of multicoloured buildings, and generally just carrying the really awesome aesthetic of this game. You're going to have a bunch of the robots up on the catwalk with shields shooting at you, and you're going to get rushed by a bunch of robots. And I do believe that these are sequential waves. I think they come at you in, I can't quite remember the formations because it's been a while since I played, but what is he doing? So I'm sure I saw Monkey over here. Like, no dude, I'm over here. But as you saw, there was two then, and when you kill them, be careful as you push up, because right away, as soon as they die, another two come, and you'll notice one has a shield, the other one you can exploit, because he has the fault with him. And right there, that is a perfect example of getting screwed over by bullshit. I was behind that cover, charging my stun attack so that I could take his shield down when he came to me, and he lunged, and the animation took him through the fucking graphics, and he hit me. How bad is that? But as per the norm, always utilise the faulty robots to damage their friends, because it makes the fighting significantly easier. And on this section, just be careful as you push up, because like you've just seen, there was two waves of enemies running towards you. There's another guy here that's running towards me. He's actually calling for more buddies, but if you stun them, that they can't continue the countdown, and it won't call for reinforcements. I wouldn't actually recommend doing it because it's good experience and it's good practice, but if you're like me and you're impatient and you just want to get it over and done with because you've played through the game, quite a lot of time for achievements and everything, then just do exactly what I did then. And the joy of this town, you can hug walls, you can use the cover and run around collecting the orbs and everything, and be relatively safe, because they're all little offshoots of this main branching path down the centre street. The further you go down, though, the more robots that will be on the buildings, so just be very aware, because it might sound silly, but they can kill you really quick. And That's why we play games on the harder settings, because you want that challenge, and this is not necessarily the most challenging game you're ever going to play, because I personally thought it was fucking easy once I discovered how to play it, but if you mess about you will get killed. And right now is my attempt to try and do the third-person shooter trick on Enslaved, but you'll notice the reticle wasn't lighting up. And I have tried firing regardless of reticle colour, and on this game it doesn't work. And I came back from France and I had a lot of messages on my 007 Bloodstone guide, so I don't really know, why I'm addressing them on this video, because the people that had those questions will probably never ever see this guide unless they get Enslaved. But I'm going to briefly go over it, because I don't know, there's some dumb bastards out there, and I don't mean that as an offensive thing, I just mean it as a case of, if you've played games for any extended amount of time, how do you not know how to do what I'm talking about? And I did mention this a hell of a lot of times on that guide, so some people will ask questions before they even think to use the fucking ears. It just seems to be how it is, and that's not me being a bastard or being a dickhead. That's just me kind of, stating that people are lazy, and I don't mind it, because that's what my videos are for. My videos are for the guy that doesn't want to figure everything out, that wants it figured out, and a helpful voice telling him exactly what's expected of him. And there's plenty of those type of people in the world. There's plenty of people that hate those type of people. It's just how it is. But back on topic, because I have a fucking passion for segueing and for just digressing. What I'm talking about is the third-person trick. And the third-person trick is, any third-person game, predominantly the shooting types, they will preface a shoulder, and these days you can swap what shoulder you look through by pushing in an analog or something, and it will swap it. But the technique is, if you go up against a piece of cover, very close to the edge of the cover, so you can look around it, kind of like Splinter Cell, so you can see what's on the other side, but they can't see you. If you aim your gun, and you can get the reticle on the people on the other side of the wall without coming out of cover, in some games you can shoot them, because the way the bullets work, they come from the center of the screen, they don't come from the end of your gun, so you can exploit the mechanics of the game to shoot people safely from cover. And it works on a hell of a lot of games, and I mean, if you've ever played the Bourne Conspiracy, it broke that game, because you could literally be sat in cover and you could shoot people in the face. It was unbelievably funny. And it's throughout every single game when it comes to the half shooting elements. And if you're not too sure what I'm on about, if you ever played Gears of War 1 or 2, if you've ever had your head shot off by a sniper and you couldn't even see him, he was probably doing this trick. Because on Gears of War 1, you would always get that one silly bastard with the sniper rifle who was so close to the pillar, all you could see was the light of the scope. But he could still hit you, because he was using the camera. He was using this flaw in game design that is universal. It's a paradigm of how they're made. And game testers must either be oblivious or it must be intended, because sometimes the things that are, conceived maybe as a problem or a flaw or a glitch in the game become a mechanic that the community just, devour. Just look at jump cancelling and all the subtle nuances of the action games that have, gone into their own world of just hardcore fucking crazy combo videos. But back on topic. This is a massive fountain area of sorts. It's got a lot of cover, it's got a lot of enemies shooting at you, as you can see. And it's very intimidating when you first get here, because there is a shit ton of dudes. And they're going to keep spawning, and then you're going to fight a dog. But don't worry, because there is far too much ammunition littered around this little arena that you can just spam your gun and have a lot of fun. And we're introduced now to the Colossus of enemies. He's kind of like your heavy. And he's very easy to predict, but I do believe he can get through your guard a lot quicker than other people's because he's stronger. And he does have a move that is unblockable. But one of the special moves you just saw me do then, what I've stored up, will kill him, because it kills pretty much every enemy. Just be aware though, because the best thing to do on that enemy I found is to wait for him to do all of his attacks, and he does a long one, but he finishes it by reaching both his arms into the air and then bringing them down in a smack. And once he's done that, watch him swing, up, down. That's the end of his combo. As soon as his combo's done, beat him up. And it's just a case of either dodging or blocking or rolling, whichever you prefer, and he's a piece of cake. But once again, always prioritise on the damaged robots so that you can throw them into their buddies and do that. And Enslaved 101 is, pretty simple. So going to the centre here where the fountain is, there's some life all around this area if you're having difficulties or you know, making silly mistakes. And just keep waiting for them, because what's going to happen, as you've seen, is there's going to be a bunch of I think there's either 3 to 4 enemies per wave, and you're going to take on a couple of them, and then there's going to be a couple more on the... Wow, I just got hit by electricity then. Be careful of him, he does a lot of damage. There's going to be people back on the balconies, and when I first got here on my first playthrough, this lasted forever. And the main reason for it is because I didn't have my staff upgraded to fire really damaging plasma. And because I have now, everything seems to be so much quicker. So I was dreading this bit on my recording run because I thought it was going to be really challenging. And look at that. Nice little execution in the graphics there. Always fun to do. But once that's happened, you'll see Tripp over there. She's not in the best mood. Run around the area collecting as many of the orbs as you can so that you can upgrade, and refilling all your ammunition, because the next level is going to be where we do quite a few interesting things, and then that's the actual dog fight. I don't think the fight with the dog is on this level. It's in this arena though, because we do come back here, so it is an easy mistake to make there. But I've just started playing Deus Ex Human Revolution, and I've been waiting for that game a hell of a long time. I've never played the older Deus Exes, but I heard really good things, and I've had it in my house while I was in France for like 5 days, which was fucking horrific. The thought of having a game unopened and playable early is just the biggest cock tease ever for me as a gamer, and I've managed to get back and slam it on, and it's interesting. I have some massive problems with that game, but I can already tell within the first few hours that it's going to be a fantastic little adventure. It's unique, it's imaginative, it's really cool, and as soon as I figure out how to not die all the time, I'll probably be making a really awesome guide for it. But I'm going to talk a hell of a lot more about this on the next video, because it's the next guide I'm going to be uploading after this and the Red Faction one. But that's the end of the level, guys. I hope it helped. It's glad to be back, and you take care now.